power. It's not in your title, not in your money, not in the noise you make when you walk in a room. It's in what you can keep quiet. The real battle isn't out there. It's in here, inside your head, your mouth, your habits. People chase control over others, but the strongest people, they master themselves. This video is not about hype, not about chasing dreams on a sugar high. It's about the grind, the stillness, the cold, hard discipline that shapes your future one quiet choice at a time. There are 4 forces pulling at your life every single day. Mouth, mood, money, mind. They look small, they feel personal, but they are the foundation or the downfall of everything you touch. Speak too freely, and you trade power for noise. Let your mood lead, and you'll burn bridges in seconds you took years to build. Spend without discipline, and your freedom dies in small, invisible cuts. Let your mind wander, and life will drag you anywhere but forward. Here's what they won't tell you. Most people are broke not because they lack income, but because they lack inner order. Most people aren't unhappy because of circumstance, but because of emotional chaos they never learned to name. Most of us lose, not to others, but to our own impulses. This isn't theory. This is the stuff that builds legacies or buries them. If you want real strength, stay here. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand how to control the 4 quiet killers and how to turn them into the foundation of your unstoppable ascent. Welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Let's begin. Noise. That's what fills most conversations today. Noise pretending to be wisdom. Volume trying to be power. Most people talk because silence makes them uncomfortable. But silence, that's where strength is forged. Every time you speak, you're making a statement. Not just about the topic, about yourself. Your words are a mirror. They reflect your discipline or your lack of it. Ancient Stoics believed silence wasn't weakness. It was mastery. They didn't speak less because they were passive. They spoke less because they understood the weight of words. They knew this. Every sentence you say builds your identity. Careless talk builds a careless life. Precise talk builds a focused one. Think about that. When you say something, you're telling the world who you are, whether you mean to or not. But here's what no one teaches. When you speak too often, you teach people to stop listening. Silence, used with intention, is power. It creates presence. It makes people lean in. People remember the ones who speak when it matters, not the ones who fill the air to feel important. Ask yourself this before you speak. Does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? Most answers will be no. And that no is your power. Your silence won't go unnoticed. It'll do something rare. It'll raise the value of your voice. Because when you do speak, people will feel the difference. Your words will land with weight. That's the paradox of control. Say less, mean more. Speak with precision. Your words create commitments. Every promise, every claim, every declaration, you may forget them, but life won't. The universe listens in contracts, not conversations. And your words, they're the signature. When you say, I'll do it, but don't, you're not just breaking a promise. You're training your mind to distrust itself. You're telling your subconscious that your voice means nothing, that your word is soft, that it bends under pressure. And that damage, nobody sees it. But it shows up. It shows up in hesitation, in low confidence, in the way you start things, then drift, in the way your dreams shrink to fit your inconsistencies. You see, your brain is always listening to your mouth. If your words are careless, your focus becomes scattered. If you exaggerate, your decisions lose sharpness. If you speak without intent, you begin to live without direction. Loose speech doesn't just confuse others, it confuses you. And that's why truth, real, raw truth, is heavy. Because it costs. And most people aren't willing to pay in clarity what they save in comfort. But you need to become a person whose word tightens thought. A person who doesn't speak to impress, but to impact. Because once your word becomes law to you, your self-respect rises. Your follow-through strengthens. You begin to move like someone who trusts their own decisions. Say less, mean more. And when you speak, speak as if you're building something, because you are. Even the words you whisper to yourself in doubt, they count. Especially those. So speak only what you're willing to carry. Speak only what you're willing to become. Most regrets aren't born from logic. They're born from heat. from reaction, from moments where emotion grabbed the wheel and reason never even got in the car. Think back. The words you wish you could take back. The decision you made too fast. The bridge you burned in 5 minutes that took 5 years to build. That wasn't you. That was a storm passing through you. Moods are weather. You are the sky. And the mistake most people make is thinking the storm is the sky. That anger is their identity. That sadness is truth. That anxiety is reality. It's not. You feel it, but you are not it. You've got to stand back from your own emotions like you're standing in front of a mirror. See them, watch them rise, let them talk, but don't let them lead, because once you act on a feeling, you give it power. And if you're always reacting, you're never in control. You're just surviving. There's a space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl called it the most powerful space in the human experience, because in that space is choice. And in that choice, but you can't reach that space if you're moving too fast. You've got to pause. You've got to breathe through the fire. Anger will tell you to speak. Silence will save you. Fear will tell you to run. Patience will show you the truth. It's not about denying how you feel. It's about refusing to serve it. Your feelings are real, but they're not final. They pass. And what's left after they pass is the consequences of the choices you made while they were in charge. So before you react, ask yourself, who's really speaking right now? You or the storm? You don't need to react to everything. That's the lie. This belief that every emotion demands a performance. That if you feel it, you must express it. That if someone pushes, you must push back. But that's not control. That's slavery. Emotional slavery. True power doesn't move at the speed of impulse. It waits. It watches. It chooses. The strongest people you'll ever meet. They're not cold. They're composed. They've mastered the pause. They've trained themselves to sit in the heat without flinching. When anger rises, wait 5 minutes. Just 5. Most people explode in 10 seconds and regret it for 10 years. But 5 minutes of silence, that's where empires are saved. That's where lives are redirected. That's where you find out if you're the master or the puppet. Because see, suppression and control, they are not the same. Suppression is pretending the fire isn't there. Control is learning to contain it, to move it, to transform it. Pressure builds when you bury what you should be managing. It turns into stress, into disease, into words you didn't mean, and decisions you can't undo. But pausing, that simple act of breathing, of not rushing, of not answering the phone call in anger, not hitting send on that message, that's how you create space. And in that space, your better self can speak. You don't have to deny what you feel. Feel it fully, but don't obey it blindly. That feeling doesn't own you unless you hand over the keys. Control is not silence. It's direction. You feel the emotion. You name it. You slow it down. And then you decide, not react. Decide what comes next. That's discipline. That's freedom. And in that moment, when you choose direction over eruption, you're no longer surviving your moods. You're leading them. It's not how much you earn. It's how much you keep. You can make 6 figures and still be broke. You can wear designer clothes and still be in debt. You can live in a big house and still lose sleep every night because your money owns you. You don't own it. That's the trap. Most people think more income means more freedom. But if your spending habits are broken, every raise just becomes a faster road to the same dead end. They chase more money, more status, more comfort, thinking it'll quiet the noise, but money doesn't fix disorder, it amplifies it. You don't need more. You need to manage better, because money is not emotional. It doesn't care. It just reflects. It shows you what you value, what you avoid, what you fear. And when you look at where your money goes, you're not just looking at transactions. You're looking at your priorities, your discipline, your pain. That daily coffee, that late night scroll purchase, that luxury you couldn't afford but bought anyway to impress people who aren't even watching. That's not just spending. That's behavior. That's a decision, one that pushes freedom further away. Most people sell their future one swipe at a time. They buy a feeling, a moment, a quick escape from discomfort. And the price? Compounding regret. But the truth is simple. Wealth isn't about luck. It's about self-control. It's about asking yourself every time, is this helping me build or just helping me cope? Because every dollar you keep is a brick. A brick in the foundation of your freedom, and every dollar you waste is a crack in it. Control your money or be chained by it. There is no middle. Avoid financial autopilot. That's where most people live, cruising through life with their eyes closed, hoping the money lasts until the end of the month. But hope is not a strategy. Autopilot is not control. And ignorance is not innocence when the bill comes due. Look at your bank account. Not just the balance. Look at the trail. Every transaction tells a story. Every swipe, every click, every casual purchase, it speaks. It reveals patterns, habits, truths most people don't want to face. Track your spending. Not once a month. Not when things go wrong. Track it like your life depends on it, because one day it might. Know where every cent is going. Because if you can't control small amounts, you won't control big ones. If $10 slips through your hands like water, 1,000 will vanish the same way. Scale doesn't change behavior, it magnifies it. Discipline doesn't show up when you land a better job. It shows up when you skip the impulse buy today. When you choose food at home over fast food. When you save first, not last. Every dollar is a vote. A vote for the life you're building or the one you're avoiding. Are you voting for freedom or for stress? Are you buying growth or just more distraction? Intentional spending isn't just about budgeting. It's about meaning. It's about purpose. You don't need to be rich to build wealth. You need to be deliberate. So stop waiting for more money to fix the mess. Start managing what you already have like it matters, because it does. How you treat money now decides how money treats you later. The future is already watching, and it's counting every dollar you cast. Feed your mind what strengthens it. Books, silence, discipline. Not noise, not gossip, not chaos dressed up as culture. Your mind is not a garbage bin, but treat it like one long enough, and that's exactly what it becomes, overflowing with opinions that aren't yours, fears that don't belong to you, and thoughts you never chose. The strongest minds are not the busiest, they're the clearest. And clarity doesn't come from scrolling, it comes from stillness, from what you choose to let in, and what you learn to shut out. Most people don't protect their mind. They entertain it. They let distraction in because it feels easier than discipline. But ease has a cost. It drains your focus, weakens your will, and before long you're not thinking anymore. You're reacting. You're scrolling through life, not living it. Focus is a muscle. And just like any muscle, it needs tension. It needs resistance. You have to train it. You have to sit with boredom. You have to wrestle with silence. You have to read things that stretch you, not just agree with you. Because if you don't lead your mind, it will lead you into worry, into fear, into every thought you never questioned but still believed. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. Not every thought deserves your belief. Just because it came from your head doesn't mean it came from your truth. Some thoughts are echoes. Some are lies. Some are scars speaking out of turn. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them, the one who chooses which ones live and which ones die. But only if you're awake. Only if you're present. Only if you've trained the battlefield before the war begins. Social media, news, endless scrolling, constant noise. That's mental sugar, sweet, addictive, and empty. It keeps you full, but never nourished. Keeps you busy, but never better. We've been taught to believe that more input means more intelligence. That if you're not constantly consuming, you're falling behind. But the truth is, most people aren't learning, they're drowning. Overconsumption leads to confusion. The brain wasn't built to process everything all the time. It was built to decide, to reflect, to think. But when your mind is overloaded, there's no room for thought, only reaction, only noise. Mental clarity doesn't come from more. It comes from less. From subtraction. From clearing space so the signal can rise above the static. You don't need 10 podcasts a day. You need one idea, followed all the way through. You don't need every headline. You need stillness, a moment, a breath. You need to think without someone else's voice in your head. Cut the junk. Audit your input like your future depends on it, because it does. Because what you feed your mind becomes your internal dialogue, your beliefs, your direction. And if your mind is full of everyone else's noise, when will you ever hear your own voice? Most people never find clarity because they never stop long enough to let the mud settle. They stir the water every day with new data, new drama, new distractions, and then wonder why everything looks cloudy. Stillness reveals truth. Silence reveals strength. Discipline reveals identity. You want clarity? Then stop adding and start clearing. Turn the volume down. Shut the tabs. Disconnect from the things designed to keep you addicted. Only when the noise dies down will you realize your mind already knows. It's just been waiting for room to speak. Rituals build power, not hype, not excitement. Rituals. Morning silence. Budget reviews. A notebook at the end of the day. These small acts done daily, done without applause, build something heavy. They build a person you can trust. Discipline isn't loud. It's not a firework. It's a rhythm, a heartbeat. Quiet, steady, relentless. You won't always feel like doing what's right. That's a fact. Feelings are unstable. They lie. They vanish. They betray you the moment resistance shows up. But a system doesn't care if you're tired, doesn't ask if you're in the mood. It just runs. And that's why it works. Motivation is a guest. Discipline is a house you build with your own hands. You want to change your life? Stop chasing moods. Build a system. Wake up and protect your first hour. Don't let the world in before your mind is ready. Review your money like it matters. Because it does. Sit with your day before bed. What worked? What failed? What will you do different tomorrow? Bored? Good. That means you're doing it right. Mastery is boring. Nobody tells you that part. But boredom is the gatekeeper of transformation. Most people run from it. The few, the very few, they walk through it. Every day you repeat the right thing, even when you feel nothing, you're proving to yourself that you're no longer ruled by impulse. And that quiet proof, that's where the shift begins. Not in hype, not in emotion, but in those dull, sacred moments where you do the right thing simply because it's who you are now. If you want peace, control your inner world, not the noise outside, not the opinions, not the chaos of the crowd. Control the four pillars that shape everything else: your mouth, your mood, your money, your mind. Most people chase success like it's out there, somewhere. But success without stability? That's just noise with a deadline. Real power is internal. It's not loud. It doesn't need attention. It's quiet, controlled, anchored. Speak less, but mean what you say. Pause more, because speed without thought is a crash waiting to happen. Spend wisely, because money's a mirror, not a miracle. Think clearly, because your mind is the first battlefield. Start small. Stay consistent, because your life bends in the direction of your self-control. And when you win the inner game, nothing out there can break you. If this message hit something real for you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel, Unstoppable Ascent, where we build discipline, not just dreams. This is the beginning. Let's keep climbing.